Hey everybody, welcome back to Jordan Samuel Skin Talks. How you doing? Welcome back. Look at us getting some videos in. Not overly consistent, but not under consistent. We're doing a little bit better with the video cadence. We're figuring it out. Okay, so today I've talked about this topic a ton of times. I don't believe I have a designated video for it. If I do, it's time for a refresher because I can't remember I had one, so who the hell else would remember? It's a tricky topic, so I want to make sure my point comes across, which is people who are reacting to products tend to put all their weight and energy into a featured or key ingredient of a product, which, just so you know, a featured or a key ingredient could be something a brand is calling out. That does not mean that ingredient is in there in a percentage where you would really see it affect the skin, whether in terms of a reaction or in terms of results. But because it's been the thing that's pointed out, mentally, we all go there, right? Like I would go there, we all go there. And there's also been, of course, a lot of news of like, this ingredient is this and this ingredient is that. And I said ingredients is. So about that, Teresa from Real Housewives of New Jersey at one point said ingredients is, and I sort of jokingly say that, and now it has slipped in as it did a second ago when I said ingredients is. I said it the second time correctly. Anyway, I digress. But the problem with this can be, just because I get emails on this, is people will then truly believe it's this one ingredient, they found it, this is the issue, they're throwing all the products out that has this ingredient in it, they're starting fresh, they're starting clean, and then they find that like they still have this issue even though this ingredient isn't in there, because that ingredient wasn't the problem in the first place, right? Okay, so that's where we are with that one. And like I said, I really want to spell this out because I don't want to be alarmist about this, and I don't want you to seek something that isn't meant for you. If a product's not working for you, by all means, donate it if you can, give it to a friend, give it to a loved one. Don't throw it out, but also don't keep chugging along with it if your skin is reacting to it, if you're having issues with it. So like that's, I guess, should be first and foremost, most important. But I just see this. I see, there's a lot of people alarmed by hyaluronic acid. Chances are, if you're seeing hyaluronic acid and it's not in a formula where it's called out necessarily, but it just happens to be in there, it could be in there at 0.01%. Could you react to it? Sure. Chances of you reacting to something else, I would say equal or greater than that. But then there's a lot of information of like, oh my God, maybe this is inflammatory. And then you also, brand to brand, you might not know if it's large molecular weight, ultra low molecular weight. Both of those things factor into the irritation factor. And then you start getting this hate on hyaluronic acid. Same with acid, same with glycolic acid, same with even lactic acid, same with vitamin A products. And I'm saying all of this as somebody who, now listen, I also want to say this, that this is my personal issue and concern. So don't think like, oh, this is me too. I'm just showing you that this could be you, but with different set of ingredients. For me, I have sensitivities to some preservatives. Doesn't mean the ingredient is bad, it just means my skin is sensitive, topically sensitive to some preservatives. So when we create products, and this happened a few years ago, we were reformulating a product, and I got the reformulation and my skin did not like it. It immediately was hot and red, and I was thinking like, oh, and I saw there was a switch in an ingredient, and so again, like I said, it happens to all of us. I was like, oh, it must be that. And then, so we tried it again, switching that ingredient out, I had the same reaction. And then we, again, because I have the ability to work with one-on-one with a chemist to see what is going on, to have trial and error of all of these lab samples, come to find out I was reacting to a preservative. Now I know that, of course, and when I see it, I don't say I run like a mile away, but that's my issue. However, that is very easy and very rare. That is very rare, but that is where you could have done the same thing as me and just been hell-bent on that one ingredient, that sort of highlight spotlight, and not I don't want to call it it's not a passive ingredient. Preservative is one of the most important things you need in a formula, but it could be anything. You know, you could have sensitivities to X, Y, and Z. I get a lot of emails too that people will write and say, I'm reacting to this product, what ingredient is doing that? That is truly impossible to know. Unless the product had one ingredient, it's truly impossible to know. Because you could be reactive sensitive to anything from aloe to petrolatum to glycerin to preservatives to oils to you name it. Of course, yes, a lot of the things I've named are benign and chances are low, but I know a ton of sensitivities to aloe, I know a ton of sensitivities to certain preservatives that I also have sensitivities to. And also, skin can, another important point, skin can react when your barriers may be a little bit broken down. Maybe even the barrier's okay, but you've stepped up your vitamin A game and you're really taking care of your skin. But you know, when maybe you're on a prescription vitamin A and even water can hurt the skin a little bit. It's going to be the same then if all of a sudden a product you have used or an ingredient you have used is reacting on your skin. You do become a little surface sensitive. So you don't need to like toss everything and throw everything. You need to sort of slow down, get your ducks in a row, figure out what's going on. This is a little dramatic, but if you are somebody that really is frustrated at your wit's end, maybe do like a little, it doesn't have to be an extensive journal, but you know, look at common denominators of like, first just write down the product itself and your reaction to it. And if it's grouped in with other things, and then start to look at common denominator in ingredients, and chances are you will eventually find something where your skin is a little bit more sensitive than not. You might also find that it's more sensitive at other times than not. I'm talking about barrier, in need of a little bit of repair, or just being topically sensitive from vitamin A usage, etc., etc. But I've just seen too many people sort of blame an ingredient that sort of makes the news because it was the hot and trendy ingredient, and now people are saying like, well, it might not be all it's cracked up to be, and people are like, oh, that's it, that's why, it's the problem, that's my problem, I have to throw that product out. No, you don't. I promise you don't. Again, first of all, you really don't, because please donate that product if you can. If a brand accepts returns, return it. If you can give it to a loved one, a friend, relative, etc., etc., please do that first. But also try to figure out what that reaction might be. Because like I said, it's not always what you really think it is. There is a famous product that's an acid that people react to all the time and say, oh, it makes my skin red and like blotchy, but then it goes away and I'm fine. They think it's the acid, and it's just like how it's supposed to be with acids and peels, and it's not. I promise you, it is not that. I know that is a telltale sign of a certain reaction I've had before. I also have a reaction to that product. I'm not getting into it because it's not important. It's just to say that, like, again, we go in this tunnel vision of like, it must be the acids. Acids are meant to do X, Y, and Z. That's what I'm reacting to. So then you're either annoyed at the product, annoyed at the acids, and the whole time it's something else in the formula throwing off your skin. So you're not getting the information that you sort of need to progress with a really great, really effective skincare routine. And wouldn't it be lovely if there was just something we knew that like people didn't react to, or, but like I said, it's impossible. Like everybody, I'm sensitive to things that my husband's not, and vice versa, and my business partner's not, and vice versa. And so it's also amazing when we get lab samples and we each try it and we each have a different reaction to it. But it just goes to show you that's why there are many successful brands out there, because everybody's going to have their different spin, their ingredients that they really enjoy, that they think are great for skin, but that doesn't mean it is going to necessarily be for you. It also doesn't mean that it's a bad product or a bad thing. It just doesn't work for you. That's it. Easy as that. I really hope I got this out. I know it was a little bit of a back and forth, and I didn't want to be super alarmist saying like, well, you shouldn't do this if it's it, but just food for thought. on reactions to products, my personal experience with the product and the reaction, and my personal experience with formulation and changing it up and then having a very happy result. But anyway, I hope that helps. I hope you have a lovely September. I hope to see you back in October. Hopefully we'll get at least one video out, if not 2 or more for October. But thank you so much for watching. I can't believe it's gonna be October 2021. Oh my God. But anyway, happy fall, happy autumn, and until next time, bye.